All right. Selection Sunday is over. The bracket is set. It's time to dance. Millions of people are about to fill out these brackets, and they're going to be completely dead and busted by Friday night. Tonight, we're breaking down the entire NCAA tournament, or at least the first round. The contenders, the sleepers, the games that will destroy your bracket, and the betting angles the sharps are actually using. We'll also look at trap lines that Vegas is set for Thursday and Friday. The teams everyone is picking that might lose early, and a handful of teams that can actually win the national championship. This is Off the Hook, sports talk that pays off. Mikey, what do you say we get right into this and jam-packed slate?
Yeah, a lot to unpack. Let's fucking get it. It's Christmas Eve, boys and girls. It is Christmas Eve.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is, I can't believe it's here. We were just.
Oh, me too. This week is the longest week. You know, to get from Sunday to Thursday morning, it's the longest wait ever. But you know what? It's Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas. I've been waiting for this. Let's get it.
Yeah, this is the March Madness is the best time of year. This is like the best 3-4 weeks that you get.
It is better than Super Bowl weekend. Yeah. Not even close.
It's not even close. We said it last week. $3.3 billion, $1 billion by you are going to be wagered on or projected to be wagered on the NCAA tournament this year. Now the Super Bowl is big, but it's just one game. It's 2 weeks of just nonsense shit. This is just 3-4 weeks of nonstop games. Lots of time to make money if you're profitable, and that's where we come in to help you out, and hopefully we'll help you out. And hey, look, we're not selling anything. We're not a tout service here. We're just kind of seeing some angles. Some of the shit's probably going to be regurgitated that you heard, right? But again, we look at the numbers. We're not looking at teams, right? We say it all the time. It's what the numbers, sometimes we play it, sometimes we don't. So with that being said, since we got a lot to get over, we got games tipping in like 40 minutes. Yeah. So this is kind of a rundown of what we're gonna do tonight. Mike, this is like a prime time slot for us. It's a little weird. We're like prime time.
I'm not used to be on at this time. I'm used to being in the lab crunching numbers, getting ready to go.
Yeah. So we're going to go through the tournament landscape, the region breakdown, title contenders, Tommy trends.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Some trap lines. We'll give you the opening round picks to get you through Thursday, Friday. Then we'll be back Saturday morning at 10 a.m. To go through the weekend games for you. And then we'll throw out some Final Four predictions. And we'll also drop on the X page, again, at OTH Sports Pod. We have a little, this was kind of thrown together last minute, just a little bracket contest. There's no big prizes. It's whatever the fuck we have in the junk drawer or your glove box or your trunk or whatever. So
we got nothing to give.
We got nothing. But if not, what the hell? Why not throw it out there? So if you want to join, why not? We'll put the link there. Mike will give me his picks. I'll get that posted while we're probably live because there's games starting that we have some action on. So we'll go through that, and we have Lehigh and Prairie View tipping off in like 40 minutes, and then we got Miami of Ohio and SMU.
We got that out early. We got that Sunday selection show. We were out posting, taking the Miami, Ohio plus the 9 points. So we got a good number there. And even though we are Lehigh Valley natives and Lehigh is in our backyard, I hate to do it, but I am taking Prairie View tonight plus the 3.5 points. I got that early as well. So do what you want.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see Lehigh. The number, I think it opened a little bit lower of a number, like 1.5. I think I didn't get on it. Now it got bet up to 3.5 now.
I think it's come down. It might have got. I think I saw it down to 3, maybe now.
Yeah. Just a quick recap from last night. We had Howard advanced with an 86-83 win. Hit the over, which was 143.5. Blew past the fucking over. And Texas was getting a 1.5. They beat your boys at NC State and Will Wade.
Yep. I took Texas last night. I know I didn't send it to you because, I didn't want to bet anything that has NC State in the lineup at all. I just didn't want to touch any game because they'll find a way to fuck me one way or another. But I took Texas. It was a nail biter though, but
it was.
Got lucky.
I thought Sean Miller was going to lose his mind at the end of the game when his assistant coach ran out and fucking saw.
Yeah.
I don't know how he didn't get a tee at the end.
Well, that's happened twice. That's happened twice this past week too with teams. I mean, the players practically ran out onto the court in the I forget what game that was, and they didn't call a tee. So I guess they're letting that go under certain circumstances, which is probably the good thing to do.
Yeah, I think it's right at the end there. I mean, it's NCAA tournament. I mean, so
excited kids.
it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't interfering with anything. Let them go. But it would have been that definitely would have been a conversation piece if they would have called a technical for sure. Because we'd probably be talking about fucking Will Wade fucking us again and getting in the tournament. So, motherfucker. So here we go. Here are your number one seeds, how it shakes out. We're just going to jump right into this. Duke, the number one overall seed. Arizona, a heavy favorite. And you got Florida and Michigan there. And then there's the second tier, like the 1B, so to speak. We'll get into that as we go into the breakdown here with that. We talked about the Ken Palm formula, who based on these stats of top 20 in offense efficiency and the top 30 in defense efficiency. This is all pre-tournament numbers. So based on those Ken Palm stats, these are who your likely title contenders would be. Now, do we get all four number one seeds this year like we did last year? I don't think so. But then again, who knows? But based on Ken Palm, this is what you're looking at here in the teams that are projected up with those numbers. Pretty solid numbers. So, who knows? Any thoughts on that? I know we talked about that leading up to this, but
no, it's all inconsequential. And now these games are starting. Let the numbers tell you a story, and then it's up to these players to back up the numbers. It's do what you did all year, and the numbers hold true. Choke, don't show up with your A game. Those numbers you can wipe your ass with. It only takes one off game and one team to play their best game, and things could change in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's what we love about this. That's what we love about this time of year.
And there's also an opportunity for live betting too, a little bit more with these games. Lots of, historically, the first half unders in the first four and the first round games have come in at a 57% rate. I know I played a lot of those. That's kind of the trend over the past few years since like 2015. That number, they're cashing almost 60% rate. Now, right now, those are one for one. I'm 1-1 with the first game last night going over in the Howard game, and then the NC State and Texas hitting the first half under there. So we'll see how that shakes out for these first round games. So here are your odds to win the championship. This is from BetMGM. Duke, the heavy favorite, Michigan right there, and then trickles down from there.
Not much of a difference though between Duke, Michigan, and Arizona. I mean, not a whole lot. They're pretty much saying throw those three names in a hat.
Pretty much, yeah. Even though Tommy Lloyd is 3-7 against the spread in tournament games, that Arizona team's pretty loaded.
They are.
Let me ask you something right off the bat here. Who do you think? We talked about number one seeds. We showed the Ken Palm rankings. Who do you think is the most vulnerable one seed or heavy favorite to get bounced early and not go deep?
I'll be honest. I was just going to say this isn't a year where I see a lot of upsets. I mean, it may not come. That may not be. But when you look at this, I don't know. It's hard to see one of those teams losing. and it definitely, I don't see it happening until the Final Four,
Right.
or till at least the Elite Eight. But I think, if Michigan meets Iowa State, I think Iowa State's going to give Michigan a run for their money.
I think so. Me personally, I think Duke is questionable with these injuries, right? Is Gumba coming back? Probably. We know he should be back, but there's still one down, right? So I feel like Michigan. I still think Duke can prevail the way they're set up. I think Michigan could be the most vulnerable here. I didn't like how they played in the Big Ten tournament.
I don't think they liked how they played in the Big Ten tournament.
So,
That's kind of what worries me. They know they didn't play well. I think they're going to have a lot to prove, and I think you're going to see the best Michigan team, and they're going to look different than they did in the Big Ten tournament, because I've watched them play this year, and that they're at times they look like you could put an NBA team jersey on those guys and you wouldn't know the difference. That's how they play sometimes. So, I mean, it's about momentum. We'll see who carries it over.
It is. It's one. It could be one and done, right? You got to show up. It's not best of 7, best of 5. It's one and done. You got to give it your best here. And what's funny too, when you talk about odds, I mean, you looked a couple years ago. If you were going to take a bet of will all number 1 seeds get to the Final Four, you would get plus money, like maybe plus 250, plus 280, depending on the year, maybe even plus 300. Now I think I was looking around, it's like minus 170, minus 180.
Yeah.
Especially with what happened last year. So that's interesting too. You're not getting that plus money anymore on all those 1 seeds making it. So we're just going to we'll go region by region for these games. We won't touch on all of them. I think we got 18, 20 games here to get through. Before we do that, Tommy Trends, here we go.
Lord.
I got so many stats, Mike. You could just throw out, you'd be like, hey, what do you got on the fucking Troy whatever game?
Jeez.
So just some trends here, looking at the first round of games. If you're looking at some live dogs, I got one to add. I won't talk about it here. I know you and I are going to both get to that game, but there's one other live dog that I'll mention later. But the VCU UNC game, I like them getting points. McNeese, they're not called McNeese Stadium, or it's McNeese. So fuck whatever. Santa Clara against Kentucky, take the points. South Florida, take the points. Akron, Troy. I like those dogs barking there as live dogs. And then some of the system plays we talked about. The first half unders typically coming in just shy of 60% cash rate. If the total is 149 or above, I've even seen 139 and above. You're going to play the under there typically for those games. Northern Iowa, that could be an interesting game. They like to slow it down, slow pace team. Maybe first half under and the total under there. When you get to the Sweet 16, you fade the favorites there typically. And then the Elite 8 games historically, those games typically hit the over. The title game, I think the past 7 have gone under. So all that said and done, at the bottom there, you got the number 5 seeds to fade. The first half unders typically cash. 11 seeds are live dogs. And follow the data, follow the money there.
Yeah, this isn't going to be your typical year where you're going to see these 5 seeds knocking off 12 seeds. I don't see it happening. This year, I look at these 5-12 matchups, and I'm like, wow, which one of these, which couple games here are we going to get some upsets? I just don't know.
Yeah. It is an odd year when you look at this. Like, you typically going in, you could feel like, there's going to be one here, and now you're just like, I don't know. It could just be complete blowout.
Yeah, I mean, I like Akron. We'll get into that.
Yeah. So those are the Tommy trends for the first round. If you care to follow those, and these are kind of typical what you'll hear. I heard the same shit. You listen to different stuff. I'm sure all these have been brought up. They're historical numbers. So. Again, I didn't reinvent the wheel here. It's just shit that you hear, depending on where you get your information. But might help you out. some people might never played the first half unders before, and now you take a shot. So, hey, if you're cashing at 57%, as we told you before, that key number is around 53.5 or 52.5, 53% to make money. You're cashing at 57%. You're doing pretty good for the first round and building your bankroll as you move deeper into the tournament here.
We give you the numbers and the info. You do what you want with it. We can only give you the info.
That's it. And I got lots more, Mike, as we go around by our.
All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes.
So, looking at the East region games here, we're just going to start right at the top. We got Duke Siena. Now, that game here is a 2:50 p.m. game. That is on CBS. That line right now, this is like an hour ago on DraftKings. Duke laying 28.5, total 135.5. Mike, what are your thoughts here on this game?
Yeah, so this opened at 25.5. It got bet up real quick to 29.5, and now a little buyback on Siena has brought it down to, what did you say, 20? Where are we at? 28.5?
28.5, yeah.
Yeah, anything above 28.5, I think it's going to be a play on Siena for me. Listen, we know who Duke is, and we know what they do. But this is going to be a lower possession game. I mean, how many possessions are even going to be in this game? I mean, you're talking almost 30 points. That's a lot of points. So, one thing you got to worry about with Siena is they can't get into foul trouble because they're not deep. They're going to have to live in their mid range. That's where they get most of their points. It's not a great 3-point shooting team, or they don't shoot a lot of 3-point shots. They live in the mid range. They have Gavin Doughty. If you haven't seen him play, he's actually fun to watch. He is an old school type player that gets in the mid range and pull up jumpers. He's going to need to hit those for them to be competitive in the game. What I like about this, though, if Siena could stay out of foul trouble, if they can muck it up a little bit, I can see this being down the stretch, 25, 26-point game. And what I think, Duke's not looking to kill people here. They're looking to get out of the first round uninjured. They already have injuries. They're not real deep right now. I could see Duke calling off the dogs, putting some subs in. Siena's playing their starters from start to finish. So the back door is even open here, and that's what I like about this game. I think the back door is open, and I think that game doesn't ever get higher than 25 points, to be honest, and I'm most likely going to be on Siena here.
Well, Tommy Trends has a stat for you here on that game.
Well,
so
let's hear it.
Massive favorites laying 25.5 or more. Now, number one seeds are 39-0 straight up, but the money line's too heavy juice. You're not going to play the fucking money line with Duke here. And they're 23-16 against the spread since 2001. So that's cashing at 59% there. But I agree that number's too high. It's too much. I mean, we know Duke is the number one overall seed. They're an elite team. They do have injuries. They're banged up here. It's like you said, they like to slow the ball down, right? They're not looking, they just want to get out of this first round, right? They're not looking to show you everything they have here. It's just, They don't care if they win by 1 or they win by 50. It doesn't matter. They just want to get out of the first round. No more injuries, right? And just get by. I like the total under of 135.5 just because Duke historically this season has gone under a lot of these games. And then there's an interesting thing too. Jerry McNamara talks. Have you heard these talks? He might go to Syracuse, back to his alma mater, and leave Siena. I don't know. I don't know if he does that or not, but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I have a feel. Yeah, well, I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if that happens. But there's some other rumors about Utah State. I know there's a good chance that the Utah State coach will be leaving and getting that Syracuse job. That there's some talk about that going around the past couple days.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I kind of hope he stays at Siena. He's done a lot of good stuff there with that team, and maybe he can build something there. But we'll see what happens if he goes back to his alma mater or not. Probably going to get bounced on the first round, but A for effort there. Next game we're looking at here, we got Ohio State, TCU. Ohio State laying 2 in the hook here. A total 145.5. That game is a 12:15 tip on CBS tomorrow. What are your thoughts here, Mike, with that game?
My thoughts are that this game is going to be a great game. It's going to be a competitive, great game to watch. We know what Ohio State's been hot. The last few weeks of the season here, they've been playing really well. They are a guard-oriented team. It's Mobley and Thornton. That is the scoring for Ohio State. TCU, on the other hand, has also been playing hot the last few weeks of the season, and they are a good defensive team. Ohio State, their identity is pick and roll. They play pick and roll offense with their 2 guards. They're 97% in efficiency in pick and roll. Here's why I'm taking TCU. TCU is an elite defensive pick and roll defense. They defend the pick and roll at a 98% in the 98 percentile. So that doesn't match out well for Ohio State. That's what they want to do with these guards. And TCU is going to pack it in the paint. They're going to hedge hard. They're going to stop that pick and roll. And I don't know how Ohio State plays outside of that pick and roll. The other thing is Ohio State lacks some depth. If TCU could get them to foul trouble, that plays into their favor. And this is for you, Tom. TCU has been great on neutral courts. They're 5-0 against the spread this year on neutral courts. I like TCU here.
Yeah, my big thing why I took them in that spot as well, like you said, their depth. Even though Ohio State played pretty good down the stretch, the depth. Overall, I just think they're going to meet their match here with TCU. Historically, 8-9 games have been pretty good as well, and I think this is one of the good 8-9 matchups. I don't think it's going to be lopsided by any means. I think you'll get a good game, but I think you'll see TCU moving on there. Next game on tap, we got St. John's in Northern Iowa, and that game. Let's see. You got to figure out what network these fucking things are on here. So we got St. John's Northern Iowa game. That, I believe, that's a Friday game. That is, it's tomorrow. Hold on.
Yeah, the network doesn't matter.
That don't fucking matter.
Who cares about the network?
Who gives a fuck?
It's a Friday game at 7:10.
Yeah. So we got St. John's. The total is 131.5 here. Laying 9.5 on DraftKings. I like the under just because that Northern Iowa team likes to slow it down. I think St. John's also covers. My play here is the under just because of how Northern Iowa likes to slow it down. The 9.5 is kind of scaring me away there. I don't know. I like the under on that play with the Johnnies, and to me, I don't know how the fuck you get a 5. Now again, I know they didn't beat anybody. They beat UConn 2 out of 3 times, right? So
yeah,
I mean, you didn't really beat anybody else, but I mean, you win the regular season Big East, you win the Big East tournament, and then you get a 5 seed, and fucking Purdue's a 2 seed. If St. John's played Purdue, I'd be on St. John's all day long. And
really?
The Rick Pitino, I'm not a heavy on.
That
we'll get into Purdue.
That you'd have Purdue favored in that game for sure. Though.
Yeah, Purdue's a lot of fucking chalk. Everybody's taking Purdue. It's like a sexy pick with everybody. I heard people all week fucking talking about Purdue, but they're gonna get fucking bounced.
Really?
I don't think they. Yeah, I don't think
they're a sexy pick at all. I think they've looked poor until this last tournament. I think they've looked like crap almost the whole latter part of the season. I think up until this tournament game, I mean, I didn't know. I probably wouldn't be thinking about them at all, but I think they got some momentum now, and I think they got good pieces. I mean, I'm not picking them at all to do anything serious here, but yeah, I think all around, I think they're a better team than St. John's. And St. John's, the problem is the Big East is down this year. So, like, who did St. John's have to play when Purdue's going through a gauntlet of fucking teams every week and every week out? You know, they don't get the opportunities to play like, you know, Butler and Creighton and teams that are down. You don't have that much in their conference this year. But anyway, we're getting off subject.
Yeah,
But I agree with you, though. The under, I like that under. But the thing is, I think you said do you think St. John's might cover? The problem is, I think if St. John's covers, I think we may not see that under. I think it's going to have to be a Northern Iowa cover and a Northern Iowa under for that to stay under. Because if St. John's covers, that tells me that St. John's is going to be turning them over a lot and scoring in transition, and that's what we don't want if we're playing that under. Because I'll probably be on that under too.
And that's what I don't know with that number too high. If the number was lower, it's too high for me to lay that with them. Real quick on the Boilermakers, that's what scares me with Purdue, and we'll get into that. Just they showed up in the Big Ten tournament, and I feel like that to me they're going to treat that like, oh, we knocked off Michigan, and then they're going to get caught. Because down the stretch, you're right. We didn't know, they were just up and down, more down than up. And then all of a sudden they showed up and gave Michigan a run, won the Big Ten tournament. And now everybody's a sexy pick. And Matt Painter in the tournament, it's just, I can't trust it with him. Who knows? Maybe they get there. I don't trust it. But anyway, that is the St. John's game. Like you said, that's the 7-10 game tomorrow night, Friday night. That should be an interesting look there, especially with Rick Pitino. So I think he won Coach of the Year too. But that'll be the 7-10 game on CBS. And the East continuing here, we got Louisville, South Florida. Louisville laying 4.5, total 164.5. I can't get on board with Louisville. I do like the over. I like that South Florida team. I like even South Florida getting the 4.5 and the over. Louisville I can't trust them at all here in this spot.
Yeah, I never was a big Pat Kelsey fan I was never a fan of his anyway, so I don't know. I really don't trust his teams, and I don't trust his team in the tournament. This game will be a track meet, though. Both of these teams want to get up and get out. The only problem is USF is a trendy dog. I mean, I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm hearing it everywhere. That scares me a little bit. That never works out well when you hear everybody picking the same side. And I know what we see on Twitter isn't the whole nation, and it's only a small percentage of the bettors. But if that's an inclination of what other people are thinking, that scares me a little bit. But I'm not going to worry about that. I've let that worry me and change my sides in the past. I'm not doing it this year. So I think I'm going to be on USF here. Louisville's prone to turn the ball over. There's not much of difference in athleticism between these two teams. We don't know what's going on with Michael Brown. I just still don't know if the guy's playing or not. Don't know how much he cares. You wonder what's going on in his head. So I think I'm going to be on South Florida here and taking the points.
Yeah. All right. And next up, UCLA, UCF. Mick Cronin going from Chicago back to LA, now to Philly.
Sending them on the road.
They're teeing this guy up every week for these fucking press conferences, just hearing him fucking bitch about the travel. It's fucking hysterical. But we said it, kind of shaky up and down throughout the season, and then come close to tournament time, his teams are built for the tournament, and he does win. But that UCF team is good. They went in to BYU and were up by 35 at one point against BYU. I mean, that UCF team is good, and I just don't know the travel. And I know some people like that. They play into that too much, and there's people like, who cares? They just got to play. I don't know. It just outside of that Pacific time zone, UCLA they haven't done well, and UCF has a short trip to Philly. I'm on UCF here. The line for that game is UCLA laying 5.5, total 152.5. I like UCF here getting the points in that matchup.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about the game. I will tell you, I probably won't be playing it, but if I were, I think I'm on the other side. I just think UCLA is better fit to play in this tournament. They're built for the tournament. I think they match up athletically with UCF, unlike other teams. 5.5 is a bit much though. But I can't back UCF getting the 5.5 points. This will be a hard pass for me.
And there's the Bilodeau factor too. I mean, I'm sure he's going to play, but is he, how healthy is he? We know he's going to play, but is he going to hurt them, or is he actually going to be up to speed? That game is 7:25 tip in Philly. Road trip to see Mick Cronin whine. We should.
Yeah.
How the fuck do we not go to these fucking games? We're idiots. It's fucking right in our backyard, and we should. What the fuck?
No. I'm disappointed. Well, I'm kind of glad because Nova shit the bed, but I mean, I typically try to get to the Big East tournament. We'll definitely do that next year. We got to get tickets for it.
Yeah, we got to do.
That's a great time there.
That's one I've never been to, and I'd like to just watching that game, the championship game. Yeah. That crowd was just
UConn. Their fans travel well. They really do.
Yeah. Danny Hurley should not be saying anything if fans showing up for that game.
I know. How about it?
Like he was whining earlier in the season about a fan. He had nothing to complain about that game. What he should be complaining about is how his team performed and just fucking were flat.
Right.
Which leads me into the next spot here. UConn and Furman, a big number. UConn laying 20.5, total 136.5. That number is too big for me, UConn. Even though he's 14-0 against the spread in tournament games. This Furman team has been there. They beat Purdue a couple years back. That number's too big. If anything, I like the under here. I also like first half under here. I think UConn could get tested. I think UConn comes out in the end. That 20.5 is too big for me. Especially how they just came out flat. And I know that it doesn't mean anything. That was last week. But I don't know.
For that reason, that actually was what turned me off of the game. It kind of scares me because, UConn shit the bed in the Big East championship game, and I know he has these guys dialed in for this game. They're not going to come out as if they won the Big East tournament and kind of coast through this game. They're going to make a statement. That's what worries me. I would love to take Furman here. And, I know the Furman-Purdue thing, but this isn't the same Furman team that beat Purdue. Yeah. If that was the case, you'd be betting UCLA because Tyus Etney and Ed O'Bannon were on the team like 10 years ago. It's probably more like 15 years ago. So, Furman, one thing I do in their favor, they're fifth in the nation in height, which you don't see from a mid-major team. So UConn's not going to come in and punk these guys with their size and bully them like they do other teams. They're not going to have that advantage here. They'll have a talent advantage on the inside. And one thing that kind of scares me away too is Furman has a really good point guard, but he's turnover prone and, he makes some great plays, but the one game he had 11 turnovers. Like UConn's going to pressure the shit out of him. I want to be on Furman, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it here. If I had to bet it, though, I probably would take the dog and take the points. I don't want to lay that number with UConn and be the only time that Hurley doesn't fucking cover, because that's what'll happen.
Yeah, right, yeah. And that's a 10 o'clock tip on TBS, and that's another Philadelphia game that we're not going to.
And that's the other thing. UConn's going to travel well to Philly. They're going to have a big crowd there. That's going to be like a home game for them.
Right. That's the other thing. Yeah. Furman's just looking to keep it close and keep it within that number. That's really
I'd love to see it happen. Trust me, I would love to see it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something if he got bounced? But I don't think it's happening. It's funny how you had Bobby Hurley, the better ball player, so to speak, between him and Danny. And you got Danny, the better coach, and Bobby is mediocre at best.
You kind of see that a lot. It's not always the best athlete that becomes the best coach, Yeah. And it typically what translates good is point guards typically translate to good coaches, because typically the point guard is the brains of the operation on the court. They're the quarterback of the court. They usually have a good basketball IQ.
Yeah, it's like a catcher in baseball, right? They're kind of calling the game, and they typically make good managers there. And hey, if you're like Will Wade, he never even fucking played basketball, and you'd be a standout coach like Will Wade down there at NC State.
How about Will Wade? He's at home right now, sitting watching his team that he coached, McNeese State, in the tournament, and he's sitting out. The mid-major McNeese is in, and he's sitting out with his NC State team. I love it because I hate that freaking pear-shaped motherfucker. I can't stand that fucking pear-shaped motherfucker. God. Anyway,
if we had more time, I'd bring up that graphic that I sent you, but for sake of time, he doesn't.
I want to
get
a pear and put his head on it. That's what I want to do. That's the graphic I want to see.
We'll get the interns to get on that for next week and put that on here. All right.
So we got through the East, huh?
Yeah, I got to the East. So we'll move right to the South. We got Florida here, the number 1 seed, even though they couldn't win their tournament. But who gives a shit? You're not getting fucking trophies for that. Well, you're getting trophies, but nobody gives a fuck. But looking here, the South region will teed up with Clemson and Iowa. Clemson getting 2.5, total 128.5. Mike, what are your thoughts here on that game?
Yeah, I'm going to be on Iowa minus the points. This is a game that's going to be played in the half court. Both of these teams aren't transition teams. They're both half court teams. It's going to be a real grind them out game. Clemson doesn't play the pick and roll very well at all. They're like in the 20th percentile. And that's what Iowa does best. They get Sturts with the ball out front. They set a high pick and roll to him, and they let him do what he does best. He can facilitate and score. Overall, I just think Iowa executes better than Clemson does. I never was a big fan of the coaching staff at Clemson. I think they do a decent job, but I think end-of-game situations, I think Iowa's going to be a little craftier. I think they're going to be execute more down the stretch, and I think Iowa gets the cover and the win.
Yeah, I'm torn between. I want to take Clemson just because, but what intrigues me there is that 128.5 number. I think is going to be a slower tempo game. So I think that under is going to cash. I like the first half under, obviously, and also the total under there in that game. And that's in Tampa, which used to be the Tampa Times Forum or whatever, and now it's the Benchmark International Arena. That's a 6:50 tip on Friday on TNT. If you care to watch Clemson, Iowa. Next one up here,
competitive game.
Yeah, it will be competitive.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that shakes out, and if Iowa covers and hits the under or they go over. The next one up here, Vandy, McNeese State. We just talked about them a little bit. Vandy laying 11.5, total 150.5. To me, that's a big number for Vandy. I know they played well in their conference tournament. They just were up and down. That's a big number for me. I'm off the game. If anything, I like under 150.5. There. What are your thoughts with that one?
Oh, geez, I'm on the exact opposite side of you. Yeah, so both of these teams are transition teams. They want to get out and run. They want to get out and score. Vandy should be able to hold control the ball against McNeese. They like to get up and press, but the problem is Vandy isn't a mid-major team, and they have two excellent guards who could both score. And I think McNeese is going to press them, and I think Vandy guards are going to go right around them, get in transition, and score. Make no mistake about it, McNeese has high-level athletes. This isn't your typical mid-major team. These are guys that played, on these, bigger teams, and for whatever reason, fell off or got kicked off the team or personal reasons, and they went all to McNeese State and gathered there, and they put together a pretty good team. But I'll tell you what McNeese does. What they do to these mid-major teams is they literally punk them. They are guys they're bigger than most mid-major teams. They're more athletic than most mid-major teams, and they just bully these teams, press them, steal the ball, and score. They're not going to do that against Vandy all game long, but they are going to get up and down and score. And I think Vandy's going to score against this press, and I love this game to go over the total, actually. So Tom and I are going to be head-to-head on that. We'll be fighting with each other.
And you talked about a little bit earlier these 5-12 matchups. It's kind of hard to gauge this year because it is the weakest bubble year, so they say. So it's hard to gauge, but typically this is where you get the upsets. Now, I will tell you, the 5 seeds have been vulnerable in this spot historically.
Yeah,
25, 36, and 3. Against the spread over the last 16. But again, this year is kind of like the anomaly. We don't know how that's going to shake out with these 5-12 matchups. But you could get a really good game. That 11.5 is too big, I think. But
I'm going to call this now. McNeese is going to be in foul trouble, and Vandy's going to be in the bonus, like with 13 minutes to go in the second half, and they're going to be shooting foul shots out the rest of the way because Vandy's going to be up 10, 12 points. They're going to have to press to get back in the game. They're going to foul, and you're going to look up at that scoreboard, and the points are just going to keep adding from those foul shots. Yeah, I really, the more I talk about this, the more I really see this game going over. There's going to be a lot of foul shots in this game.
I'm glad you brought that up because I have a stat on foul shots in these teams in the tournament, and the teams shooting less than 70% throughout the season heading into the tournament. The number 1 team with the lowest free throw percentage heading into the tournament, LIU, at just under 67%. Then you got Iowa State at 67, UNC at 68, Miami, Florida, not Ohio, Miami, the Hurricanes, 68.5%. Penn is only shooting 68.5%. We'll get to them. Missouri, 68. Yeah. Missouri, 68.6. Furman, 69%. Kennesaw State, 69.1. Tennessee, 69.4. They'll get out of the first round maybe, and then that's it. Nova, 69.4. The Zags, 69.9. And Northern Iowa, 69.9. So those are the lowest free throw percentage teams heading into the tournament. So I'm glad you brought that up because as, these, teams get in the bonus, and then you see at these backdoor covers on the over late with foul shooting. These lower percentage teams, that under still could hit, right? But so those some stats there on those teams, which that list actually surprised me.
I think you're going to be wrong, Tom. I think Tennessee's going to get out of the second round. I think they beat Virginia in the second round. I do. You hate Tennessee for some reason. I don't know why.
Because they fucked me this year, honestly.
No, I knew it had to be something like that. I knew it had to be personal.
Hell yeah.
That's like NC State and me. Fair enough. I can understand. Enough said.
And the Raiders. You fucked us in football. Fucking Tennessee. I would like to see Tennessee advance. I would just like Ryan Odom to get a win there with Virginia, even though they haven't won a tournament game since like 2019. Yeah. But I like him as a coach, and I don't know. Yeah. Fuck Tennessee. It cost me money. So, where are we at here? Next,
we're at Nebraska.
Nebraska, Troy. I can tell you here, Nebraska looked good early on and not so good heading into the tournament. I do think they get their first win here as a tournament team. However, I like Troy to cover the points here. That line right now, Nebraska lane 12.5, total 137.5. I like Troy here. I'll take the points with Troy. I think it opened at like 13.5. I didn't get it that high, but I got it at 13. But I like Troy here with the points. What are your thoughts here on that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Troy in the points too, but I'm very nervous about it. Problem with Troy is they're not a very good 3-point shooting team, but they're a willing 3-point shooting team. And one thing Nebraska does, they'll force you, take away that inside game, they force you to shoot the 3. And I just worry that Troy's going to be just chucking them up because they aren't the most skilled 3-point shooters. They're a very, very, very talented, athletic team. I think it's Victor Valdez is their main scorer, and he's good. He's fun to watch too. I just don't want him chucking up threes all game, because that's not going to work out well. You could see Nebraska really jump out early if that happens. But Troy forces you to beat them in mid-range. They're going to push Nebraska off the 3-point line and make them score in mid-range. And I look at Nebraska's guards, and I really don't see who's going to kill me in the mid-range game with those two guards in Nebraska. Troy did beat San Diego State, and they took USC to triple overtime, so they have played the big boys fairly well. They have a physical front court, and Troy's going to press you too. They're going to be pressing the whole game, and they'll even switch up and play some zone. They have a very good coach. I just hope Troy needs a good shooting day for them to cover this. And if we don't get that good shooting game, Tom, and Nebraska comes out and Nebraska has a really good shooting game, Nebraska can win this game by 25 points. So if Troy shoots the ball well, I think we're right around that, and I think we could get the cover.
Well, that's the thing too, because Troy, they like to slow down the pace. They rebound really well. Where with the Cornhuskers, they like to push it more up tempo. So if Troy can prevent that early start from Nebraska and slow it down and keep it close late, we at least get the cover. Now the total's another thing, but they can at least cover that big number there on the spread. So that'll be interesting to see here. The next one we're looking at, UNC and VCU. This game here, you got UNC laying 2.5, total 157.5 on that game. This is, to me, UNC with the injury to Wilson. It's a classic 6-11 upset here with VCU. Phil Martelli Jr., strong defense, have experienced guard play. And just UNC with the injuries, they've been inconsistent. They're vulnerable against these physical defenses. I like VCU here catching points. What are your thoughts on that one?
Love it. Absolutely love it. So one thing hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed about VCU is the coaches, and the team has their identity has stayed the same. They play tough defense. They get up in your face, and you're going to get heavy press in your face defense all game long. And I will give North Carolina credit. They grade out very well against press defenses, but that's going to wear on them. And they don't have Wilson, who is part of that statistic for most of the year. Without him out there, UNC is a different team, and I think it showed. It was obvious. I really like VCU's chances here. They have a good player, a big Djokovic, not the Joker from the NBA, but he should be able to hold Vasar down and, stop him from having a huge game. And I think VCU beats them up a little bit, and they get the cover and the W. Yeah, I'm with you right there.
Yeah, that is that's a 6:50 p.m. tip, TNT, Thursday night game, primetime game there for them. That's in Greenville, South Carolina. So you'll get a lot of UNC fans. Both teams will get pretty heavy fan bases there for that one. Next up, Illinois and Penn. The Quakers, I rode them through the Ivy League tournament, and I'm sticking with the Quakers here. That line on that game, Penn is catching 25.5, total 151.5. We just talked about their free throw percentage, their low free throw percentage, but that TJ Power kid, former Virginia Duke product, now at Penn. I like Penn to keep it close here. I know Ivy League teams statistically haven't necessarily done well of late in the tournament, but Penn, I don't know. I like them here as the home team. I like them better than Lehigh. So I'll ride with Penn on this one just to stick with the home kids. And that was a hell of an Ivy League title game against Seattle.
That was fun to watch. I felt good for that team. They deserved that. With that being said, this is going to get so ugly. This is going to be a layup line for Illinois. It's literally going to be a layup line for Illinois. 2-point discrepancy in this game is so unreal. Penn is 346th in the country in 2-point offense. So they don't score well outside of the three. If they are not making threes, they have no chance whatsoever. And then on top of that, their defense, Penn's defense against the 2-point field goal is 292nd in the nation, almost dead last. I think this gets ugly. Penn has a chance if they can have the most unbelievable day shooting the three, but Illinois knows what that team does, and they're gonna stop that, and they're long and lanky. I hate to be on the opposite side of you, because if one of us is going to win and one of us is going to lose, and I never like that. But this is actually one of my favorite plays. Does that make sense? It's not one of my favorite overall, but out of the favorites that I'm taking, this is my favorite play of the tournament for laying some chalk.
Yeah, and I knew it was probably a loser pick when I threw it in, but whatever.
Yeah, listen, I could be totally wrong here, but I just don't see how Penn scores unless they're nailing threes.
Yeah.
But
last game here in the South, we got Houston and Idaho. Houston laying 23.5, total 138.5. Mike, I know you have a play on this one here.
Yeah. I'm going to be on Houston. I'm going to lay the points here. So this will make you feel good, Tom. The past 5 years, Houston, past 5 years when they were favored of 20 or more points, they've been favorite of 20 or more points 3 times. They're 3-0 in those games. So when they're laying a big number, they usually cover. Samson usually doesn't let up in these games. They pound the teams that they're supposed to pound, and I think you see that. I also like the under in this game. I don't see Idaho scoring a lot of points, and Houston isn't going to rush up the court to get shots off too. They're happy playing a slow-paced game. I think the under is a really good play in this game too.
Yeah, I like the under. I'm not on it, but I do like the under there. Moving right along here, Midwest region. We'll kick it off. Georgia, St. Louis, Georgia, laying 2.5. Total 169.5. I think I lost you here, Mikey. Hold on. Let me get you back here. Where are you at? Oh, there he is. All right, here we go.
I'm here.
Georgia, St. Louis, Georgia laying 2.5. Total 169.5. I like St. Louis here, catching points. I also like the over. I think this is going to be fucking. They're going to blow through that fucking over. Hammer the over on this one.
Yeah. We know what Georgia's going to do, right? They want to get up and down the court and score as fast as they can. St. Louis is more of a half-court offense. Their half-court offense is elite, but they're going to be forced to play fast, I think. And Robbie Avila will, he's going to pull Surreal away from the basket. Georgia's not going to have that rim protector that they usually have because he's going to have to get out and guard. I like St. Louis here for sure.
Yep. Next one, I'm not on this one. I know you have some action on this one. Texas Tech and Akron. Texas Tech laying 7.5. Total 156.5. How do you think that one shakes out?
Yeah, Akron's a really good team. This isn't a typical MAC team. This team is built not like a mid-major team. This team is built, and the only problem is it's a little bit of a trendy bet. They're a very athletic team. Texas Tech without Toppin isn't the same team. For a couple games there, they showed a glimpse that they might be something, and that quickly died off. If Akron could defend the 3-point line and Texas Tech isn't shooting the ball well, I really like Akron's chance here to cover, and I won't even be surprised if this is a couple possession game down the stretch here. Akron has a chance to win this game.
Yeah, and I had this circled as a trap, even though I have no action on it. It could be a trap game here. It's like you said, without Toppin, that changes that team. And Akron, just a higher volume of threes. Whereas we talked about that shooting variance all season long with this, right? And man, if Akron gets hot, this could be ugly here. So I like that as a trap game. I'm not on it, but I like your play there with that one. Next up, Bama and Hofstra. Boy, has this changed with the recent arrest and no murder weapons this time, but boy, has this changed. Bama still laying 11.5, and they're deep at guard, and the total 159.5. I took the over, and I took Hofstra getting the points on this one. I like the Hofstra team. I think they can keep it close. And I like the over. Bama plays no fucking defense. have elite guard
That's
play.
True.
But how things have turned for the Tide in this one.
The tides have turned.
Yeah, there you go. Tides have turned for sure. I know you don't have anything on that one.
No.
Another one I was looking at in this region, Kentucky, Santa Clara. I like that Santa Clara team. Kentucky's laying 2.5, total 160.5. I have Santa Clara here catching the points in that one. I just like that team. And I'm not high in that Kentucky team. I'm not high on Mark Pope as a tournament coach. Santa Clara, give me Santa Clara there in that one.
Yeah, I'm debating on whether taking that. This is a early tip time. It's a 10:15 local tip time. It's hard. You never know how teams are going to come out with those sleepy times and play in those games.
Yeah.
You just don't know what you're going to get. I can't trust Kentucky to lay the points, and I've liked Santa Clara all year. I just don't know if this is the best matchup for them. I'll probably be on Santa Clara here as well.
Yeah. All right, heading out west, Arizona, the number 1 seed in the West bracket here. Looking at the games that we have our eye on, Nova, Utah State. Nova getting 1.5, total 146.5. Mike, what do you think about your Wildcats there?
Yeah, I'm trying not to be a homer here, but I think I am going to take Nova. They are really missing Matt Hodge. They're missing their second big here. They are hurting without him. Utah State's a good team. They won the Mountain West. Good coach, Jared Cahoon. By the way, he's the one I said, Tom, I think he's eyeing up that Syracuse job. Utah State is a highly efficient offense. But I'll tell you what, Villanova puts pressure on you. Utah State isn't going to see the type of defense that they play in the Big East. It's going to be a different style of defense. I think Nova's going to pressure them. The pressure's going to hurt them. And I think Nova has enough offensive firepower. And the lack of size for Nova will not hurt them in this first round game. I think Nova survives, gets through the first round, and then, doesn't stand a chance against Arizona.
Yeah.
And I know we're not talking about Arizona, but one thing I want to say, I don't have a play in that game. I don't see how LIU stops Arizona at the rim at all. I don't see how they get stops. It's going to be crazy. Arizona is 99 percentile at the rim. And LIU is like one of the worst in the country at defending the rim. So it's going to be like a dunk fest. But I love this bet. Arizona to never trail in the game, plus 105. So let's think about this. LIU doesn't shoot the three. It's not their identity. They go to the rim and try to score. Arizona's going to win the tip. We know that. Arizona's going to win the tip. They're probably going to pound it inside and get a 2-point basket first. They're going to score. As long as LIU doesn't come up and launch a three, which isn't typically their game plan. They don't shoot threes.
Right.
I don't see Arizona trailing in this game at all. If it's not the first bucket of game, they're not going to trail. I like that even money bet right there. I'm going to be on it. Bet.
I just wrote that down. As soon as we get off here, I am definitely I'm on that. That's a great bet.
That is a great bet.
That is good. Look at you digging in the crates for that. Unfortunately, I'm on the other side of that Nova game.
I thought a lot of people are, to be honest.
I just when I saw the free throw percentage with Nova, I didn't realize that until I looked that up, and then just looking at how Utah State grades out pretty well in efficiency metrics, I think it's gonna be a good game. I think that's going to be another good 8-9 game there to watch. And then moving right along, we got Wisconsin, High Point. We both have some action on this. Wisconsin laying 10.5, total 163.5. I like the under here. I don't know if Wisconsin. I like the under, and I like High Point to cover that 10.5. What do you think?
I want to take High Point, but I mean they're an elite transition offense. They could score with the best of them. This I have written down here, look for a live opportunity, because this is going to be a game of runs. Wisconsin does it all the time. Wisconsin won't score for 2 minutes and they'll score 15 unanswered. And High Point has that same type of offense. This is going to be a good game where you watch it and you wait for a team to go down by a big number and take the other side on a live bet. That's the way I'm going to go with this. I just don't. High Point gives up way too many rebounds. I just can't see them getting enough stops in this game.
Yeah. I'm going to skip the next game and go to the Purdue-Queens matchup. Like I talked about earlier, Purdue, I'm not sold on Purdue. Purdue wins the game. Queens ain't going to fucking win. I don't think Purdue covers at 25.5. 163.5 is the total. 25.5 is the line at DraftKings. Purdue just, I just feel like their championship was beating Michigan. Just how they played down the stretch. I'm not a fan of Matt Painter in the tournament. I just think, they're a good team. I'm not taking anything away from Purdue, but I feel like they got a good draw as a number 2 seed. I don't feel like they're a number 2 seed. They got a little bit of a bump by beating Michigan, but it's not like they blew them the fuck out. If you look at Michigan toward the end of the season, they didn't come in firing on all cylinders, right? They were just kind of walking through some games. Some games are close, and then they got caught against Purdue. Right. And so now Purdue's getting all this love. A week and a half, 2 weeks ago, people were off Purdue. And now all of a sudden everybody's, Purdue's going to the Final Four. Purdue's winning it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Where are you hearing
what the
that?
fuck?
Where are you
a
hearing
couple
that
people, there's a couple people I listen to. They're like, they got Purdue in the Final Four. They got them, a couple people winning it. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Purdue's not winning shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't.
And it's
heard
not
that.
a lot of people. I'm just saying, casually flipping through different podcasts and hearing other people talk. It's almost like a trend to not take like Duke or Arizona. I get it, but I'm not sold on Purdue just how they played and were kind of until the Big Ten tournament. We would have faded them all throughout here. Now they got a number 2 seed, and if you look at with Huff out with Gonzaga, Purdue could beat the Zags, and BYU doesn't scare me. They could get there, so they have a better path than some of these other teams.
Path, actually,
yeah,
I agree.
Which is I see why people are taking it. I just don't see it. I can't take Purdue here. I'm not going to play Purdue minus the points because I don't like taking the big favorites. We all know that, but I don't. Queen's defense is bad. It's not okay. It's not average. It's bad. Queen's defense is bad. Even in their own league, it was bad. What Queens does well is they run a beautiful offense, and it's nice to watch too. If you haven't seen a couple games of it, they move the ball so well, they cut so efficiently, and then they have great shooters. So they have to shoot the ball well and try to match basket for basket because they're not going to stop Purdue at all. Purdue's going to score whenever and wherever they want to. It's just a matter of if Queens can make some baskets to stay close. It's a 25 point. That's a big number. It's a big number.
But yeah, it could get ugly though. But I won't be on the other side.
Last game in the West, we both have an eye on this game. I had this circled when this bracket came out. Hawaii and Arkansas, Razorbacks laying 15.5, 159.5 as the total. I like Hawaii here to cover. I put a little money line sprinkle on Hawaii, and here's why.
Gosh,
here's why. Calipari's last 2 NCAA tournament games as a top 4 seed were losses. So for me, just having that seed, I like that Hawaii team. The Hawaii team can score. They have good guard play. I feel like, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if Hawaii can stick with them all game to win. I think they could keep it within that 15.5. But I feel like if they catch Arkansas early and jump on them, I feel like if they keep it really close, I think they could come out and pull off the upset here. So I figured, what the fuck? Why not throw a little throw a little money on the money line, but I do like Hawaii here, especially with the Calipari teams as a 4 seed. Now that was probably fucking how many years ago, but whatever.
Yeah, I could promise you the players on those teams were not the players on this team, and he doesn't put a spell on the players before the game and say, this is what happened in the past, this is what you have to do. But anyway, I get what you're saying. I just don't. For that to happen, I think Arkansas has to come out like not too interested in this because they just won the SEC championship and they're still kind of on that high. And this game is kind of just like a game they need to get by. That's what you're hoping for, that they don't come out with that enthusiasm. One thing that scares me is Hawaii plays a no help, no switch defense, which basically means that they stay on their man. So when someone drives, you're not getting that help defense. They're not sloughing off the 3-point shooters. They stay on them. That's scares me when you have a Darius Acuff Jr. because he's going to go around his first defender, and there's not going to be much help at the rim. And the other thing is, although Hawaii's played well and they've scored the ball, when you look at the metrics, they're not the best shooting team in the world.
No.
So what I'm hoping for is Hawaii thinks about this and they realize we're not playing this team straight up man and going to win. I hope they come out and switch it up and play some zone because that could throw Arkansas off. And Calipari doesn't make the best in-game changes. So that could throw, I'm really hoping they mix up a little zone here to keep them in the game. But I just can't get behind them here. I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah. And I've been high on Arkansas all year playing them. And I like Calipari. I don't like him in this spot, but we'll see. Hopefully at least win one of those.
Hopefully we get a sleepy Arkansas team off that big win in the championship. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's what I'm hoping. And it's in Portland. So Hawaii stayed out west. They were practicing at UNLV. They didn't go back to the island. So now you got Arkansas traveling a little bit, not a lot, but that can make a difference too. So who knows? Shit, that's a lot of it's a lot of games.
My daughter's giving birth right now, and I told her I'm not going to make it because we're going over the tournament games. So you guys know how much this means to me. I'm joking. No, I do.
Tell
have
her
to
to hold it in.
enough for that.
Tell her to hold it in for like 20 more minutes to get there.
All right.
So here's how it shakes out. Here's the giant bracket overall. My final 4 teams. I got Arizona. Coming out of the West, I have Iowa State coming out of the Midwest. I got I'm gonna run it back with Florida coming out of the South, and for the East, I'm gonna run it with Duke. I don't think Duke wins. I like Iowa State, and what the fuck did I say?
You like Iowa State against Duke or against Florida.
So I like Arizona to beat Iowa State, and then the bottom half I like Florida to beat Duke. I think I like Florida Arizona championship matchup. I have the Cats cutting down the nets, and we'll stick with the Tommies, Tommy Trends and Tommy Lloyd coming out on top.
I got Arizona, same as you. I got Iowa State, same as you. I got Duke, same as you, and I got Houston beating Florida. And then I got Duke beating Houston against, I don't want that to happen, but I think it will. And I have Arizona beating Iowa State, and then we got a Duke-Arizona championship, and I think your national champions this year is Arizona Wildcats.
There we go. It's a team ride on Arizona. Holy shit. And we did not talk before this. It was just kind of through the picks there.
I want to be wrong. I hope none of those 4 teams are in there. I hope we get all kinds of crazy upsets.
Probably get like Hawaii and fucking Villanova.
Not a chance.
It's not going to happen. But wishful thinking. So that was a quick rundown. Hopefully we helped you maybe go through some of these angles, some of these historical trends as you're filling out your bracket. Just be careful of the bracket busters, some of these 5-12, 6-11 matchups. And we always say, look at the numbers, not the teams, because that does make a difference when you dive into the metrics. Good luck on your brackets. We'll post our picks. We'll post a link to our bracket if you guys want to sign up. We'd love to have you. We have nothing to give. It's just some shit in our junk drawer, in our trunks, wherever the fuck we can find around the house, a pen, whatever.
Check out our Twitter page in the next couple days. We'll be posting plays. And
then Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, we'll recap the Thursday, Friday games, get you set up for Saturday, Sunday. That was a lot. Yeah. Mikey. Good luck. Send me your picks.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Tonight, remember, we are taking Miami of Ohio, and we are on, the game had already started, but we are taking the points in the Lehigh game.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys Saturday, 10 a.m.
Best of luck. We ain't going down easy. We ain't going down at all.